apply our Minwax stain, we used a mahogany type color, basically just for the looks. We're going to wipe it on with a brush, and everybody's like, well, you could have just put it on with a cloth, and you're right, I could have, if I had gloves and didn't mind getting my fingers all covered in stain. So I did it this way. It's just a sponge brush that you can get from Lowe's or Home Depot. I think we picked these up at Home Depot. And we'll put the stain on liberally. We're going to wipe it off. At that point, you'll see the grain and how well it looks. Oh, and to keep from staining up my workbench, I laid down some crafting paper. Again, you can pick that up at any of your big box stores. It just keeps the stain from seeping all the way through and ruining your workbench. Of course, it's a workbench. It's designed to be ruined, right? Now, as you can see, we're starting to wipe off the stain, and look at that beautiful look that came out of this old wood. I mean, it's, well, I think we used a mahogany stain on this. You have to forgive me, I'm recording this after the fact. And though that doesn't look like mahogany, it looks more like a walnut or something else. It was, in this light, it looked very well. It just, the grain popped out easily with this. So now we're just going to start drilling the holes, the pilot holes for our screws. We're going to use 2.5-inch screws to put these steps on, and some glue. Alright, now we got leg number 1. I'll stand that up right here. La-di-da. Let's see, we'll find our 2.5-inch screws. Will we find our 2.5-inch screws? Well, I found one. No, that's not 2.5-inch screws. Ah, crap. Alright, go get the other leg. There's the other leg. Ready to go. Stand up. Yay! They're 2 identical legs. Now here we go for the glue up and the screw up. Or screw up and glue up. Either way you want to put it. A lot of people ask me, why did you stain it first and then glue it? It is okay to go ahead and stain and then glue pieces if you want them. Don't apply a varnish to it and then try to glue. Though it may hold, it's going to be a very weak hold, and this way you still get the glue to go with the wood. It's just stained wood, but it's still holding the particles. And it's very important you cover the whole step. You want these step pieces to adhere well. You do not want them just one of your puppies go to step on this and the thing breaks off. I know what you're saying. Bud, why are you saying 2.5 inch and you're putting a 1 inch screw in there, or 2 inch screw in there? Well, at the time we were making this, I couldn't find the 2.5 inch. I later found them and replaced them off camera. I also did glue up the other side, even as you can see now. So don't freak out on me. It's held together with 2.5 inch screws. Now it's time to apply the lacquer. And we're going to open this big can up. We're going to shake it up. Open it. Yeah, I love that lacquer smell. Have you ever sat in the back of your schoolroom when you were in high school and sniffed a Sharpie marker or a easy erase marker? Well, some of you potheads probably did glue. Anyway, the very important thing about this, though, that drop was not from me sniffing the vapors yet. I'm not wearing a mask. It is the most dumbest move I've ever done when it comes to finishing a project. The wood's looking great, the lacquer's going on, but lacquer itself gives this vapor off, and when it does, it really, one, is strong and potent. Okay, you smell it, you know what's going on. My dumb butt just, that's what it is. Second of all, my garage door or shop door is not up. So there's no real ventilation going on here. I'm basically breathing these fumes in and freebasing this lacquer. Now, I did some crazy stuff in high school. Huffing paint was not one of them. And if you are a woodworker, this is what you don't do. I spent the whole time here just wiping away, and as you can see, as the video goes on, I start to get a little tipsy, and I start to get a little woozy, and start feeling like I've been on a 2-day drunk. And again, the whole time I'm thinking, man, this stuff stinks. It's god-awful smell. How do people deal with this? But you look at it and it's like, this looks fantastic. And then I found out as I watched over the course of the video, I'm going over the same spots over and over. By this time, I can only think of one thing. I'm high as a kite, y'all. And it's just going to get worse as this goes on. And it was just all kinds of wrong. Let me get my sea legs sway, 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 sway. More pain. So the same way 8 or 9 times, because I think I'm putting a coat of paint on here. Oh man, it was bad. It was bad. More painting, more swaying. More painting, more swaying. What am I doing? Where am I looking? Why is this thing? Oh, it's time to turn it up. I'm finally done. Oh, okay, here we go. Turn that up there. Oh, it's nice and shiny. Isn't it pretty? Hey, wipe my hands off. I don't want my hands to get dirty. I'll pick my brush up and we'll start again. And again, I'm just I'm just huffing away. I mean, as you can tell through some of this, I've already woozed back and forth. Finally, it hits me. Put your mask on. And you can't just use one of those little black masks that I've seen a lot of workers use that keep the particles out of their nose and mouth and out of their airway. You need a mask that can keep vapor out. And these things, once you get it, I got it on and it's working now, but it took another 10 minutes before my head started thinking clearly. I just wanted to get this done, and once I got the mask on, I remembered, hey, open your door up a little bit. I went ahead and cracked the garage door and turned the fans on to ventilate, and it took another 30 minutes to an hour to clear that entire shop out. Oh, but yeah, it's the worst hangover I've ever had after this. Do not do what I did at all. Isn't it fun to watch a guy wipe on his board all day? Surfer did. Now it's all done. We're going to let it dry, and I'm going to sober up, and we'll move it into the bedroom, and we'll see if after a couple of days, because this stuff stinks, and then we will see how the dogs use it.
All right, guys, y'all ready for your debut? Tank, you gonna use your steps? Come on, Tank. Come use your steps. Come on. Right there. What? No, that's not this. Dot. Dot, do you want to use your steps? And just like that, you built something, and you prove right there that your animals, though they love you, will not do anything you have asked them to do. Particularly your steps you built just for this purpose. So it's important to remember when building something, even though there's a practical use for it, if you're building it for a pet, odds are they're not going to use it. Tank would still prefer to use my couch rather than to use his little doggy step. However, if you've got a pet that loves them, these were built out of 2x8s that somebody gave me. It was reclaimed wood, cheap and easy to put together. Because they're 2x8s, there's not a whole lot of supports you have to put in between. If you want to put supports there, you can. Other than that, hopefully Dot will use them. He doesn't need them right now. Tank, nothing to do. Anyway, so as we go into 2020, I've realized something very important about my dogs. They love me. They're not going to use one. I'll have a good one from Bud's Builds. See you next time.